How's it going, everybody? This is Shady of Shady Horror, back with another watch and review. It is Salem's Lot, the movie, this time. Let's go ahead and check out the synopsis. With Salem's Lot, the movie, a blood-curdling shocker based on the novel by Stephen King, director Toby Hooper sends the time-honored vampire legend soaring on bat wings into the modern era. Sinister events bring together a writer fascinated with an old hilltop house, a suave antiques dealer whose expertise goes beyond bric-a-brac, and the dealer's mysterious pale-skinned partner. The solid supporting cast of vampire victims and fighters includes Bonnie Bedelia, Lou Ayres, Alicia Cook, Ed Flanders, George DeZunda, Lance Kerwin, Jeffrey Lewis, and Mary Windsor. It's hard to keep the undead down, and so easy to be scared in Salem's Lot. Okay, so Salem's Lot, the movie here, is from the year 1979. The movie version has a runtime of 111 minutes. It is put out by Warner Brothers. Now, I've seen parts of this, know most of it, but had to watch this all the way through. This is the movie version. I also have the miniseries version, which I will watch next time I get around to this classic. Here that is. It's on my good old snapper case here. And if we could check it out real quick, yeah, 183 minutes. So a significant difference in runtime, but I just like to keep these both in the collection. Directed by the legendary Toby Hooper of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and so much more, which on the 50th anniversary this year, just a few weeks ago, I got to see TCM on the big screen, and it was fucking amazing. Just awesome. So, in this Stephen King adaptation of the late 70s, from the very first shot, and as the title music kicks in, the tone is set. So awesomely directed, and a great cast with lots of familiar faces of days past. Great music. This score is awesome. I really like the eeriness and vibe of the music all throughout this movie. Another classic here. The small town vibes are great. Another storyline involving a writer, and I'm sure y'all already know, vampire awesomeness. Mr. Barlow, such an iconic, great character. It's cool that the character Mark is a horror fan and has some cool masks and posters in the background. Everyone plays a good role in this. I really like the nighttime shots. Rest in peace to Toby Hooper, one of my all-time favorite directors. Every setting and location is solid. It's just damn good. One of the all-time made-for-TV greats. Though this was made for TV, it's done so well. It's mean-spirited a bit. It's got a lot going on in this town of Salem's Lot. So well written by Stephen King and translates great to this tale of a vampire. The iconic scene of the floating kid in the window is still and always will be awesome. The coffin scene is great, a really well shot, creepy scene. This just has great old school horror vibes. I love 70s flicks, and this made for TV film does the trick too. I have fun with it. I know HBO Max just recently released a version of Salem's Lot. I got rid of my HBO Max subscription earlier this year. Otherwise, I would check that out as well. I'm sure I'll see it later on down the line. I've never seen the other version either, the one with Rob Lowe. I haven't seen that. I do have Return to Salem's Lot, though, on VHS. I remember having some fun with it, but this is the one for me, the original. And, of course, this being the movie version, but on my good old snapper case DVD over here, I like to keep that in the collection as well, which has the full mini series version. It's cool to have both, and I know this has some cool releases, but I do enjoy my old school VHS and DVD. So many of Stephen King's movies involve being a writer, like The Shining, this, 1408, and many more I'll eventually get back to for a rewatch and a review. Also, the last King film I made a video for, Needful Things, like that, Salem's Lot also has an antique shop and an antique dealer. It's a good setup. It's really cool still being able to watch a classic on VHS. The vampires in Salem's Lot are awesome. The fangs look great, and the eyes are some of the coolest and creepiest. And that first time you see Mr. Barlow, just badass. He looks awesome. One of the best vampires ever. Looks creepy and original, although, kind of in the vein of that old Nosferatu look. He just looks awesome. One of the coolest vampires ever, in my humble opinion. I love the movie version and I love the miniseries version. One of the best made for TV horror experiences of all time, in my opinion. I mean, I didn't get to see it back then, but this must have been a sight to see in 1979 for TV watchers. Because, damn, it still is and always will be fantastic. No matter the format, it's just well made horror. I like how this gets more amped up as well. One of the first vampire flicks to really just let it rip. So many great grandpire vampire films. I guess you could call this a grandpire film. It's one of the granddaddies of vampire films. So many great made for TV horror movies, miniseries, and shows. And this one right here is usually at the top of most people's lists. Why? Because it's just that damn good. Well made, the tone, the cast, the direction, and one of the coolest looking vamps to this day. The house on the hill is such a great location too. Like when you go on the inside, it's awesome, awesome as well. Looks just like you think it would. It's got the first or one of the first kills that I can think of involving a horns and or antlers as well. At least, that I can think of. I like having my old VHS movie version and then also the DVD snapper case edition of the full miniseries. Awesome stuff here. A classic. Okay, everybody. Today, this was Shay D, and this is Salem's Lot.